Hi, my name is Drake. I'm the guy behind all the videos on this YouTube channel. You may recognize me from the covers and stuff like that. Today we're doing a completely different kind of video. It's a bit of a story time, possibly. It's a bit of an odd one, but may it also serve as a form of help towards anyone who will someday be in my position. So you may have seen in the title, you already kind of know what this is all about. Actually, it might be good to know, my name is Drake, I'm also known as IJ.A.L. I'm an author of 2 books with one in the making. Regarding those books, regarding my career as an author, I was contacted a few weeks ago by phone from someone who supposedly, and I'm gonna just put it bluntly and name every name that I've heard of, so you are able to watch out for any of the names I've mentioned. So I was called by someone claiming to work for a company called Page Turner Press and Media. Now, his name was supposedly, who knows, I have no idea, and my apologies for butchering the name even if it's fake, Jose Villafuerte, claims to, he said he works for Page Turner Press and Media in California, supposedly a place called Chula Vista. So he contacted me claiming that he was something like an author advisor or a literary agent, either one. His main goal in Page Turner Press and Media was to contact authors and begin a partnership with them in order for their books to make it to the big screen. He was specifically looking for a fantasy kind of genre, and that is partially what I write, partially what my books are about. And he contacted me saying he wanted to get my movie to the big screen, which sounds lovely. I mean, I was excited for sure. After all, seeing my books on the big screen is actually my all-time greatest dream. Therefore, everything that happened after this was quite dreadful. Seeing, as you've seen in the title, it wasn't real. And that was painful because at first I was very hopeful, but I've learned to be skeptical, which is always important. So I addressed everything with a lot of care. I looked into things thoroughly every single day. And at first I was both excited and incredibly skeptical, because I thought, how good is this? How am I given this chance? So I wondered, how am I given this chance as someone who is entirely unsuccessful? I mean, I couldn't believe it, and usually if it's good to be true, then it is. It likely is. So I handled it all with such care, and I looked into so many things, and it was quite something. I asked all kinds of people around me, how do you look at this? What are your opinions? How does it make you feel? There's one person who has listened to my audiobook, so he knows the story. I shared everything about this opportunity with him, and he was incredibly excited for me, so was I. I was really excited. So as I said, when a chance seems too good to be true, then it likely is. So I did some digging, lots of it. I kept calling with him, exchanging emails, but the one thing that was ridiculous was the fact that he told me that they need an author investment next to the investment that the company Page Turner puts in to acquire a treatment and a screenplay. These are items they need that they will eventually give to producers. In this case, he was working, taking everything with a grain of salt, for Hollywood producers, which is quite something. So that was already quite hard to believe. Still, I was excited, really excited, yet skeptical. So he needed an author investment. It was large. I told him right away after the first call when he mentioned that, I told him no author that has just started out has that kind of money. And he said, yeah, every one of my authors that I work with, they just get along. It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. The thing is, this already sounds like a scam, a big one, or, well, an obvious one, to say that. Problem is, it got so elaborate. It was ridiculous to the point that at this moment I am still not 100% sure it's a scam. I've still not found definite proof. It's quite unfortunate. So, after many calls, many exchanged emails, he talked about certain Hollywood companies eventually wanting to buy the treatment and screenplay, basically, to work with me. Now, eventually, believe it or not, I got an email from the head of new media of Paramount Pictures. And yes, I said believe it or not, because not many would believe that. Neither did I entirely. So this email was supposedly sent by someone named Tom Hayes. I looked him up on the internet, LinkedIn and such. Checks out, that's him, but the person who sent the email was likely not him. And to this day, if this email from Paramount is real, which is highly impossible, then I am likely in violation, because the email includes things like me not being able to talk about it, which is like movie confidentiality, which is very understandable. You see it all the time. But of course, I'm new to all of this, so I had no idea how it all worked. But the main thing that told me that this isn't how it works is the fact that the payment that I had to make towards this Jose guy, towards a page turner, came before a contract, and it did not make sense. And a friend of mine, he said something that I thought was worded quite well. He said, payment before legal documents is improbable, impractical, and practically impossible. And I thought it was worded really well, because that makes sense. It doesn't make sense for me to pay them, then get a contract, because they have no obligation to make their money back from me or pay me back, and they can just run off without doing a thing. So it didn't make sense. Many emails, many calls, I even recorded a call like 20 minutes long. This Jose guy, he dodged every question I had by just talking for 10 minutes, going completely around the question until he landed on something different, to the point that it makes you think that he's just someone who knows exactly how to use the concentration span, whatever that's called, of a human, to the point that he talks long enough and mentions certain subjects enough to eventually lose their concentration, to which a human might think, okay, that probably doesn't make sense, it's fine, I'll let it go. Well, it didn't make sense at all. I listened to it many times, and it was really sketchy. He would not let you finish talking. It was very clearly a scam. Problem was, there are many things that confused me to the point that I couldn't become 100% sure. And I did some research, and I asked people all around me, and it's ridiculous. I tried to call the company page turner itself, plus message them. Didn't get a call back, nor a message back. So that was a bit unfortunate. And Paramount, obviously, they can't really contact either. Such a big company, they will not reply to me. Now, the reason that it was so elaborate was one of the first things that he shared with me was a book trailer that was made from someone who supposedly did come through with a payment. An author called C.R. Crick. For him, a book trailer was made because he seemingly paid the amount, and the treatment and screenplay was being made, stuff like that. So there was this book trailer, he shared it with me. I looked up the author on Facebook and found him, no reply. So we now have Jose Villafuerte, we have C.R. Crick, and we have that Tom Hayes email address from Paramount, which after I checked and asked someone, email address does not check out. We have these three fake characters, supposedly. The odd part was about the C.R. Crick thing, as I found him on Facebook, and he had a history of all kinds of just normal events of his life and stuff like that. mainly focusing around what he wrote. Now, towards the end of all this, Jose kept pushing and wanting me to contact a bank for a bloody loan, and he kept on pushing and pushing, and it was ridiculous. Constantly getting emails. I told him, for example, today I cannot call. Calls anyway. I tell him I have time at this certain moment, and he's like, please give me 5 minutes of your time, and he calls anyway. And he was just pushing like crazy. To the point that I explained how I was not entirely trusting, because of course you have to be careful with these kind of things. You're not just gonna suddenly give someone a large amount of money without a contract, without being completely sure. I needed to be 100% sure, and I never was. So he kept pushing. At some point, I pointed out my discomfort regarding the situation, and then he tries to guilt trip you. He tries to say that he's offended, that you don't trust him, and that you believe this is all not real, and then all kinds of those things. It's crazy. So towards the end, he suddenly came with a new company called Metro Films, and some guy was supposedly gonna play a big part, and I was like, where did Paramount go? They're just gone. And it was also complicated to the point that it just didn't make sense. Like, this treatment as screenplay was gonna be made, it was gonna go to this company and to this one, and then they help you, and it didn't make sense. And again, the thing that made sense least was the fact that the payment had to be made before the contract. Now, they were talking about millions of revenue made from once the movies were made or the treatment and screenplay were sold. Luckily, I am not someone who is easily tempted by large amounts of money, as I just don't trust it. It was ridiculous though. The problem is that a lot of this scam made sense. A lot of it was hard to put into motion. All these extra people, these extra characters, he or the people behind this made. Towards the end, again, his grammar became much worse. He became much less patient. And then at some point, after I kept asking him, I need proof. And proof is easy to give if you really work for like this company called Page Turner. Also, no offense to Page Turner at all if they are legit, of course. This could just be someone posing as their employee. Which, by the way, on LinkedIn you can actually find employees of a certain company because they did not show up. So, if he really worked for Page Turner, he could easily prove that. He could even contact Paramount to say that they should contact me. He avoided that every time. He avoided that request, and the emails he sent back did not make sense. And he was like, he was sending these links to Metro Films or God knows what, saying this is the proof I can give you. I looked at it and I thought, how is this proof? This has nothing to do with what I said. He was just once again avoiding the question. So I decided, as this took a huge toll on me, I decided to cut it off, and I sent him an email saying that he shouldn't contact me anymore unless he is able to provide proof in the emails that are to come. This I was writing apparently right as he was giving up on trying to lure me and trying to scam me. So he had written an email 3 minutes before I finished writing mine. I sent it, which was 2, 3 to 5 minutes after his, and I thought that was it. We both quit, but he wasn't giving up. He actually sent a contract. He sent a contract, though the contract was not one that asks me to pay after the contract. It was actually still just, this is what the contract is going to be. And I thought this might be where I can find the conclusive note. I sent it to someone with a bit more knowledge regarding the subject. Again, I have no clue how all of it works. I've never found myself in this business. I have only stuck to being a self-published author and nothing more. So I asked someone with a bit more knowledge on this ground, and while I also thought the contract didn't make much sense, he immediately saw from everything that was in it, it is not right. It doesn't make any sense. This is a scam. After that, I blocked him, and that seems to have been it. I blocked his number as well, because after all I did tell him that I block him if he's not able to provide proof and still sending me emails. So yeah, I told him that the contract is not right. It's not a normal contract. They weren't obligated to do anything, basically, to fulfill any promise. So the reason I am making this video was not to, for example, complain about what happened. While it did take a toll on me. It took a few weeks to finally be able to let go, because again, at first I was excited. This could have been a dream come true, I thought. But I had to remain skeptical or I'd be in big trouble. So I was skeptical the entire time, and eventually came to the conclusion that 99 to 100% sure it's a scam. But we don't have the definite proof, the definite legal proof. We have too much to assume that it's real. It just can't be with everything that was given. So again, the reason that I make this video is not just to explain how this scam ruined me. Well, I did not fall for it, due to it being my biggest dream, and not just taken from you, but presented to you with promises made, and then only for it to turn out to be fake. But the reason I decided to make this video, which I don't often do storytime videos. I'm not exactly a fan of these kind of things, of making these kind of videos, due to confidences you may have been able to see in my older videos. Confidence is not exactly my thing, but I thought it was important because after all that research I've done, I see so many people struggle with this. It's not just literary agent scams, it's all kinds of scams. And it's just ridiculous that there's people out there who make a living by putting up the biggest acts one can put up, lying about everything, destroying lives by putting people in debt for the rest of their lives. So the reason I wanted to make this video is to warn you about something like this if it ever were to happen. So if you see this, these names, Jose Villafuerte, is really important to be careful of. There's a big chance, of course, that he's now going to go by another name. It's so easy. But also Page Turner. I've seen a lot of comments about Page Turner online that are not too pleasant. Some say that they've been completely scammed. Some say that they didn't exactly get what they were promised. The others say that they're really, really happy. Which of these comments are real? Which of them are not? Are they all real? Which makes me think that the comments that are about the scam, for example, are actually just people posing as Page Turner. But one can't really know. So as well, if you have any information regarding this, please do share in the comments. Let me know. I'd love to bring it to light, because it's just really unfortunate. There's people out there who do this, ruining people's lives that way, and I may not have fallen for it, and therefore I'm okay. I've got no debt or anything like it. But if I was blinded by the happiness I felt with the thought that I was going to reach my biggest dream and actually make it in life, then I would have been in trouble. So on that note, to conclude everything, be careful with these kind of things. If there's payment that needs to be made before a contract, it's not trustworthy, and because as wonderful as these chances may seem, and as goes for any kind of scam, if it seems too good to be true, then it likely is. But there's always a chance. Then it likely is. There's always a chance. Please don't give up on your dream, whether you're an author, whether you're anything else in life trying to make it, and facing something like this. Whatever happens, don't give up, because the only thing we can do is just fight and work as hard as we can to reach our dreams, to never lose hope, and constantly improve, because eventually you'll make it. What are the odds of you not making it within a lifespan? They're quite slim. So you'll get there. I'll get there too, and we don't need these chances, because these chances may seem like chances, but they're just a test to see if we are capable of setting aside our enthusiasm, which can prevent disappointment greatly. And it just tests us to see how mature we go about this, because these people who do this are not mature. They're just some humans out there without the emotional capacity that allows them to actually see what they're doing to people. And we should never be like that. We never will be. As long as we just work hard on our dreams, do it fairly, and get there eventually, because you will. And so will I. Eventually, in time. So, on that conclusive note, be careful, and I really hope that this video may have helped in some way, and if not, that's okay. Always is. And if you have any further questions regarding this matter or anything in this area, please let me know. I have learned so much because of this, and I'm pretty sure that well, people have tried to scam me before regarding small things like wanting to be in a magazine and stuff, which by the way happened during this as well. Of course it happened. But I'm pretty sure now that I'm capable of seeing it coming whenever there's another scam on the horizon, which might be often if you're an author, just a small one out there with some books at the edge of the world that they happen to find. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'd appreciate that, and as well, feel free to let me know if you thought this video was informative or helpful in any other way. It was new for me to record this, I usually don't, but I thought it was important to share this, and who knows, it might not help at all, who knows, it might help a lot, who knows, it might help a little bit. Even if it helps one person, I am happy. So I thank you very much for watching, I really appreciate it, and thank you to everyone who's stuck around so far on this channel. I hope you don't mind that this video was a little bit different. New things will be coming soon, and I certainly hope you will enjoy those as well. Last but not least, if you're interested in the books that I've written, links will be down in the description, along with all my other social media. Feel free to check that out. And the very last thing, thank you for everything, and as we have sat for about 7 years since I've had this channel, I'd say until next time, bye bye.